for returning to my YouTube channel. Did you subscribe? Did you turn on your post notifications? And did you like my last video? I hope so. All right, I am going to talk about rivals. The whole world thinks that Chloe and Maddie were the big rivals at the ALDC. Think again. The rivalry started years, decades before the television show Dance Moms. Now, Maddie and Chloe were rivals because they were in the same group at the dance studio before the show. And Maddie was younger, Chloe was older. They were usually in the same divisions. When you go to a dance competition with your studio's team, everybody that's 11 and 12 that does a solo is in the 11-12 age division. Some might be jazz or lyrical, contemporary, musical theater, whatever, but they're all in that same age division. And then they're all in the 12 and under for the overalls. The television show, the producers, even the teacher, put those kids up against each other. Did I want that? No. I want to go to competitions and win. I want to put my best foot forward, always. So I want one kid in the 11-12 age, one kid in the 9 and 10 age, one kid in the 8 and under, or 7-8-year-olds, then one 13-14, then one, what if it's 15 to 16? I'm gonna put my best 16-year-old, not a 15-year-old in. Whoever's at the oldest part of that age division is likely to win. You also have more experience, more time on stage, you're older, and maybe your dance is more mature or more difficult. And I wanna leave with the winners. So why leave with one winner and put all these kids against each other and have all this turmoil in your studio? No, spread them apart, take one in each age and win 5 or 6 overall high scores. That's the way to do it. But that doesn't really make good TV. Chaos, the crying, kicking and screaming. That made good TV. So Maddie and Chloe going up against each other for parts, for high scores, for trophies or crowns and banners, made good TV. But before Chloe and Maddie, there were lots of others. Yes. Let's take John Michael Fiumara. He's on Broadway in Funny Girl. When John Michael was coming into his own, realizing that he was going to make a life in show business, he was a tapper. That was his thing. Very Gene Kelly or Fred Astaire in a shirt, slacks, tapping, strong, masculine. But he had a rival in the class, and that was Jesse Johnson. And Jesse was contemporary, lyrical. He had this fluidity and this shadings and levels to his dancing. He was the contemporary, modern, lyrical guy, not a tapper. John Michael realized if he wanted to make it in this business and make it big, he would have to do what Jesse did. Jesse realized, hey, if I want to move to LA and be a professional dancer, I better pay attention in this musical theater class. I better sing. I better tap. And that's what happens. That rivalry pushes you. It makes you better. It makes you stronger. That's why I always have rivals at the ALDC. I don't pit kids against each other. It happens organically. I call somebody away from the bar. Watch them do this. Watch. Everybody stop the class and let somebody show off. That makes everybody else in the room either jealous, lazy, I don't care if they can do it, who cares? Or it makes them do it better. It makes them work harder. And that's why I shove somebody in your face. Because I think you can do it too, and I want you to see how it's done correctly. Whether it's a penché on releve, whether it's an aerial walkover from a brush in releve, any of those things. I'm gonna pull out the kid who does it the best and make everybody else eat crow. In the graduating class, Right before John Michael and Jesse, you had Miranda and Caitlin Reiser. Now, Caitlin Reiser's mother made sure she had the perfect suit, the perfect hair, the gorgeous leotard. She looked like a dancer. She was ready. No expense was spared. I mean, her mother would scrub toilets so that that kid looked like $1,000,000. Yes. Her rival was Miranda a kid that was born and raised in my studio. From the age of 2.5, 3, her mother even took class from my mom. So anyway, Miranda was a gymnast, fearless. Miranda was really good in gymnastics. She was a great tumbler, and she was fearless. But she was also flexible. She was short, petite, but when she danced, her legs went on forever. And she could jump. Switch split, turning switch splits, switch straddles, you name it, she could do it. So these two were always going against each other. But Caitlin looked like the ballerina. She had the lines. Miranda looked like a contemporary, rough and tough dancer. They both were amazing. I was proud of my training, what I did with those two kids. So anyway, these two kids, I mean, who could jump higher? Who could hold the handstand longer? Who could make up 8 counts themselves incredibly? It went on and on and on and on. And where are they now? Caitlin's an attorney. I think she's married and has kids or something. And Miranda just did a big dance job for Cat Burns. Yes, a professional job. And she still dances here and there. There you have it, right? Rivals, rivals, rivals. Now, I can go back before that. Someone you might know. Gianna Martello and Amanda Stoluto. Gianna, she had the legs, the feet. She could jump. Great musical theater work, great lyrical, great contemporary, right. Then you had Amanda Stoluto. Was quiet, reserved. She always had her nose in a book, always. She was studious, smart in all the science and the math stuff. But who brought the music? Gianna. Who knew the counts? Gianna. Who turned the music in at the competition? Gianna. Yes. Miranda was off reading somewhere. Well, Amanda went on to be Miss Dance. Yes. With the crown and the banner and the flowers. Stunning, just stunning. She worked professionally right out of high school, Tokyo Disneyland. She was gone for months at a time, 6 months, then 7 months, then 9 months. It went on and on and on. She worked professionally for a long, long time. Gianna, well, I took her under my wing and she began assisting at the studio and teaching, and then teaching and teaching and choreographing and helping me on Sundays with 10 solos every Sunday. Yes. Jump ahead. Amanda is semi-retiring, gonna come back. Now she's gonna go to school. Gianna is already through school and is on a television show, dancing every day. Yes. In your living rooms around the world. So they weren't really mean arch enemies. They were friends. They did a duet. Every year, the two Italian girls did this gorgeous duet. And I miss working with them. I miss working with them. Now, if you have an Abby Lee Dance Company shirt, t-shirt, hoodie, that logo on the front is Amanda Stoluto. Yes. Check the description below and you will see how to buy your Abby Lee Dance Company logo wear. Yes. Abby Lee Apparel. Everything's available. So you can take a little bit of this story home with you. Take Maddie and Mackenzie. Were they arch rival enemies? No, they were sisters. Was it hard to follow in Maddie's footsteps? Yes. But Mackenzie made it harder. She created all that drama. Instead of looking up to her sister, instead of wanting to do a duet, instead of stepping it up and maybe someday passing up her sister, that's what she should have done. So let's go way back to the beginning. I had my first Miss Dance of Pennsylvania, Jennifer Snyder. Jen was like my right hand. I always thought someday she would take over my studio. It saddens me that she didn't. She works in a bank, and I'm sure she supports her family and she has good insurance and this and that. I raised her to be the best that she could be, and she was. She was my very first Miss Dance. When you go into rehearsal the first time to be in Miss Dance of Pennsylvania, this is a scholarship competition, and you're judged on a leotard competition where you face the side and the back and the side. It's tough. And then an interview. So you have to walk in and shake 5 judges' hands and have a full-on interview, like for a job, for the CEO of a company. And I prepared these girls for all of this, right? And then you do your talent, and you're judged on talent. Not just the talent and the leotard and the interview, but also you're judged in a tap class, in a ballet class, in a jazz class, and an acrobatic class. Yes. They see how fast you pick up what you know, and all of your technique is right there in front of the judges. Now, Jennifer was contestant number 22. How was she number 22? Well, you go in and you pick a number out of a hat, and that's your performance number, so that nobody can say, oh, well, she put her student last. She's running it, blah, blah, blah. No. Jennifer went to nationals and made the top 10 and had to redance. And I was so proud. It was my very first student. I can't even remember how old I was. 2 years later, her younger sister, Heather. Heather was never out there and look at me like Jennifer. Things didn't come easily to her. She had to work, but you didn't see the work. She was one of those kids that, never let them see you sweat. That was her. Beautiful girl, long dark hair, nails for days, not fake nails, her nails. She used to go across the floor in acrobatics and you would hear the click, 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 click on the floor. Heather all of a sudden kind of came into her own. She must have been secretly plotting and working and practicing all the time. So Heather walks into this rehearsal with all these girls, picks a number out of a hat, and it's number 22, the same number her sister had. Now, Heather didn't do so well that first year in Miss Dance, but the next year, she made up her mind. She was going to win this thing. She was not only going to win it and go to nationals, but she was going to do better than her sister. And she worked on those interviews every day, every day, every day. When she got home from dance class at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night, she would get in the shower and she would have her mom or dad stand right outside the bathroom and ask her interview questions over and over and over and over. So they weren't rehearsed answers, they were just the answers. She knew it. She went in it, she won it, she went to nationals. She made the top 10. Woohoo! She had done what her sister had done. And then she was awarded first runner-up. Ah, that's second. That's the first to lose. But in the scheme of things, she didn't lose. That night after the competition, we all have to go out and eat. And somebody was in the audience. He was the director of the first national tour of Will Rogers Follies. Right there on the spot, he offered Heather a job. The national tour of Will Rogers Follies. They both did really well. So you take that sister, that older sister, and you get better and better and better and better than her and beat her. And that's what Mackenzie should have done. If you like this rivalry video, I have lots more stories just like this. Do you have a rival at your dance studio? What about your school? What about academics? Do you have a rival in your class that you're trying to score higher on an exam? Use it to your benefit. Make something happen with it. Yes? Don't let it eat you alive. Don't let it make you nuts. No. Whoever your rival is, go after them. Be better than them and win. Thanks for watching. I will see you next time right here on YouTube.